He used to be a famous racing car. Used to be a famous racing car. Used to be a famous racing car.
Well, hello there, beautiful people. Welcome to another fantastic build series. I've got a good one for you. It is the Herbie the Love Bug by Polar Lights, which is a brand spanking new model kit that was released either early this year or late last year. I can't remember which. And if y'all remember those movies, all those movie sequels that just... they had all those stars in them. I can't remember who all, but I can recount people like Don Knotts. But it's a brand new kit. So I am going to attempt to do this, and I'm going to light it, and not like crazy lighting, but just some headlights. I'm gonna light those real quick. So I think there's some backlights. I'm just gonna kind of light, and I'm gonna power them with coin cell. And if all goes well, I'll be able to put that coin cell inside the trunk, which is in the front. How about that? Trunk in the front. That's kind of unusual. The engine's in the back and the trunk is in the front. That's really crazy, but that's the Volkswagen Beetlebug for you, especially for back then. But let's unbox this thing and let's see what we got going and see if we can do some stuff, because I have no idea what this thing looks like yet. I'm excited to see the design of it. Okay, so let's check it out. Alright, first thing, it looks like you've got... ooh, that's interesting. Yeah, it's like instead of having individual windows, it's all made into one piece, and the whole piece just kind of slips into the underside of the shell. And then there's your headlights there. Got some tires. Just like some silver parts. Seats. Pretty cool. And there's the little shell. You cannot beat that design. That's Herbie, alright. Beep beep. And looks like your hood, and I guess that's, you could see your hood and your trunk hood, whatever you want to call it. But it looks like these things is going to be removable. Yeah, it looks like these things you're gonna be able to open and close them. Now that's really cool. I like that. Look at that. Yeah, I believe this thing's gonna be open and closing. That is so cool. So that's perfect. I will be able to use my my battery, my coin cell battery, and probably pop it in here somewhere. Maybe even under the tire, which is at the front. We'll see. But that's cool. That's awesome. And there's some of your wheel parts, looks like. So with these rods, it's telling me that this thing, the tires or the wheels are supposed to turn. And I guess these screws are for the hood and the trunk to open and close, is what I'm assuming. And then they give you stickers and decals. So this is just like you just unpeel them and stick them on, and then this is just decals. The same thing, but I think a bit more professional. So pretty interesting. You got both, but I may end up using the decals. We will see. And there's your instructions. Yeah, it doesn't look too awful complex. Looks like we can have some fun with this one. This is gonna be a blast. And so these are the parts, everything. I've got it out here, and then what I'm going to be using is, again, here's my coin cell. Probably gonna be using one, but it uses 2032 batteries. Is it? Yeah, 2032. And then these are my LEDs. These chips, chip LEDs is gonna be for the front headlights, and the back LEDs, which are Pico pico size. They're gonna be for the back right here. So, and it looks like I'm gonna be able to hopefully put this coin cell up in here. We will see about that, but very interesting. And then the colors I'm going to use, Tamiya TS Racing White for his color, and I think that will work. Let's see, so these are the colors I think I'm going to use for the interior. So dark sea gray I think I'm going to use for this, the floor and your side door walls. I'll use this dark sea gray XF from Tamiya. And then for the seating, which looks like it's just about already that color, but I think I'm going to recolor it a little bit. I think I'm going to use the sky gray, which is XF 19 from Tamiya. What I got to do now is I've got to clean these parts up. I got to give them a bath and put them in that detergent and let them soak there for a while and get these things nice and get that mold release off of them. And before we get started, and why I'm doing that, if you don't know, is that mold release agent that they put on these things after or when they release them from the molds is what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to deter anything from sticking on the plastic. That includes glue, that includes paint, so we cannot have that. So I got to take that stuff off if there are any on here. So that's why I'm giving them a bath. So let me do that real quick, and then we will get started getting this thing going. We're going to have a good one on this one. This is going to be so fun. Alright, I think what I'm going to start off with is just start off with the engines, doing those, and so I'll be able to put that to the side. So let me assemble those real quick. Okay, I got Herbie out here and I'm fixing to prime it up. I'm going to use this Tamiya surface primer. Oh, you can see it. There you go. Metal gray. I'm just going to do all these pieces. Actually, I think what I'm going to do is on these seats, they're supposed to be a light gray. I think I'm going to leave them this primer color. But of course, these little parts right here is going to be a dark sea gray. Along with this, I guess. Now gray primer is dry for the body. It's time to put the white primer on there. And why I'm doing white primer is just so that off-white color just kind of will pop a little bit better after doing this, after putting it on white, because it might look a little bit darker over this gray. Okay, I brought Herbie body inside after painting it. It's nice and dry, but I found these little issues. They're not really that bad, but it's something I really couldn't see till I got the primer on. That's something, one good thing about having primer is you get to see a lot of flaws that you can't see on the regular plastic. And you probably could if you looked hard enough, but I didn't look hard enough. And I will never forget this, and we'll always do this next time, but let's see if I can find, yeah, see those little lines right there? Let me see if I can point that out to you. You got some little lines right here. It's just mold lines, I think, so that happens to at the factory. I'm not sure what the techniques are about that, but it's no big deal. I got to sand it down, but it's just something that I missed and I should have done before I primed this thing. But again, no big deal, no big deal. I can, yeah, you can see some right there. I will be able to, I'll be able to fix that with no worries, but yeah, it was just a little learning process, so let me get that sanded down real quick, and then we will move on. Okay, so this is what I did, kind of come up with. I am just kind of, as you can see, those little lines are gone. Had some back here, and I had a couple, a little bit right here and right here, so I just kind of knocked those down just a little bit. Alrighty, floor and trunk, door side walls, and I guess this top canopy thing I'm going to do in dark sea gray. So let me get those painted up real quick. Alright, this thing's about ready for painting. I got some wet sanding I gotta do. There's a few places that I see that I kinda gotta fix real quick, like right there. There's a little place. Yeah, that's no big deal. That'll fix up with wet sanding, so let me get to doing that real quick and get some of that smoothed out, and then we'll get to doing the color. I believe we'll be about ready to do the color. So let me do that real quick and I'll get back with you. Alright, I'm doing some wet sanding on this bug and kind of looking it over and checking for some flaws, and I was going to repaint it, and I really thought, you know what? I am not happy with this color. I am not at all happy with this color. So what I'm going to resort to, I think, is reprime it. And then after I do that, I'm going to put some of this X2 from Tamiya white on it, and we'll go from there. Well, here we go again, trying to do some modifications to make the battery fit inside a model kit. If you remember the Icarus, the Crow's Nest Escape Icarus, how I had to do all those modifications. Well, it looks like I'm going to have to do something like that on this one. Maybe not as intense or extensive, but this is what I think I'm going to have to do. So this is, I don't know if I told you yet, but this thing is a snap kit. It doesn't make no difference. I still glue. I don't trust snaps too much, but so I try to glue them even though they are snaps. And then this sunroof, you know, it's able to pop on and off. And so this looks like this is just about going to be the only way to, the only way I'm going to have access to any kind of battery. And so my plans are to stick the battery like right there. I hope. I do hope. I'll pop it in there right there. And then this will go in right there. Sort of like that. But the thing is, I'm going to have to cut out some a little bit right in there to make this work. And I think what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to use tape to do this. See if I can just cut a nice little square out right in here. And I'll kind of show you how I'm going to do that. Alright, let's see if I went over a little too far. I hope I didn't. But, let's see if there are any gaps. And you know what? We did it. We did it. And you know something else? This thing really does have a sunroof now. It would be cool, though, if Polar Lights would come out with one where it's kind of, buckled back, you know what I mean? That would be really cool. But I guess you could make something like that. I wouldn't really know how to do that. I'll have to think about that and see how that could be done. But look at there. Look at there. So my battery should be able to go. Oh boy. It's still going to be a nice little fit, but it should be able to go something like that. And I'll be able to pop it right in there. Then the other thing I'll have to think about is wiring, how I'm going to do this wiring to where it's going to be good enough and I'm not going to have any obstruction from the wiring that would cause the interior right here to obstruct it. So anyways, there's my interior. Not too bad. Okay, I ran into a very interesting problem. Number 5, which is supposed to be there, which is this right here, the stem that goes to the steering wheel, is missing. Missing. And that's a big bummer. A very big bummer. But it's really no problem because I will recreate that. And I think what I'm going to do to recreate that is use maybe this toothpick right here. Use something like that, and then I will probably use something like this There you go, kind of right there. I think I'll bend it a little bit. It looks like what it does in the instructions. Again, with the Everest Green Scale models tubing, I use this stuff so much, it's funny. But yeah, where there's a will, there's a way. I'll fix that up, and then we'll be just as good to go. I'll get that painted up, and you won't even know the difference. So let me do that real quick, and then we'll move on. There's my dash, and see if you can guess where that steering column is a toothpick. It is a toothpick. And also that little stick shift. I'm not exactly sure what you call that. Look, I'm not really that savvy with cars, but whatever that little stick shift is called, I guess is what it is. That's also made from evergreen plastics tubing. So I'm glad I was able to make that kind of work good. I mean, it's good enough. It's good enough for what I want. But I can't believe I lost that other piece, and I still haven't turned it up. So there's a good look at the engine back there. This thing's gonna look so cool, y'all. It's gonna look so cool. And a quick look inside the interior. So yeah, looking good. Looking good, really good. I like the interior, the way the colors are. Those I think that'll work just fine. And of course, the tires, the wheels turn. Sometimes you get kits and they make it where the tires just don't turn. I think that's not good, but I'm glad this turns. And like I said, this is a snap kit, but there are some things about this that I didn't trust, even though it's snapped together. And some of it snapped together and it wouldn't stay snapped, like right in here and kind of right in there. It wouldn't stay snapped in, so I just kind of glued it. I glued them anyways, some of the parts, but yeah, it's looking good. It's looking good, but yeah, I don't ever trust snap kits. That's just me. I like to glue them. I like to glue everything in place, even though. So, but anyways, that's my preference. All right, so let me get a nice paint color on this, and I guess I will go with my original concept, which is this over here. Let's see, where is my X? Is this it? X2, yeah, let's use this one. So I will go with this and use this on it, and then we'll go from there. So let me do that, and then I'll get back with you. Hey folks, I said on the last scene that I was gonna use X white, wasn't I, from Tamiya? Well, Landon, listen to your own advice. Okay, this is what happened. I'll show you what happened real quick. Okay, I got a little lazy, okay? I didn't want to clean out my airbrush. I didn't want to go through the trouble of putting thinner and stuff. You know, I just want to do it real quick. And this is the result I get, and this is what I get for doing that. Yeah, not good at all. You know, thankfully, I saw this, and I saw it real quick, just a real quick spray. I was like, this ain't gonna work. So, you know, the whole thing ain't ruined. Well, none of it is ruined, but yeah, not all of it has that junk on it. It was just that one little spot. I saw that, and I'm like, no way. Because I'm gonna tell y'all, I don't know how many models I have ruined in my modeling life, especially the earlier part, using crazy spray cans. Now, I will tell you that Tamiya is good stuff. Tamiya is really good to use. I have never had any issues as far as bubbling, as far as separating, as far as crud, as far as cracking. I've never had Tamiya do that. And of course, I didn't have a Tamiya white paint on for spray can, and so I got this stuff. But I got a little lazy, and I saw this sitting up there, and it was tempting me, y'all. It was saying, Landon, use me. So I listened to that demon, and this is what I got for it. And so, yeah, a lesson for me, and a lesson and a warning for y'all. Please don't ever use spray cans, especially nothing but Tamiya. I trust Tamiya because it's been tried and true that I've used, and it's perfect. But this stuff right here, I'm throwing that in the trash, and I ain't going to ever use that stuff again. So what I've got to do is I've got to go in there, and I've got to wet sand this crud off, and I've got to get that nice and clean again. And then I have got to behave myself, y'all. I've got to behave myself, and I have got to use this X2 with my airbrush. So a lesson learned. It's no real big deal. It's it's just a matter of extra work, a little bit more time, a little bit more setback, but it's, you know, it's fixable, and I'm gonna fix it. So, but yeah, just something to warn y'all that, which you probably already know it, but yeah, I'm just getting around to knowing it. So, but yeah, that's not good, not good at all. So lesson learned from me. So what I was planning on doing was I was planning on getting this thing painted up, and I was planning on getting all painted up, and then I was going to close out the video, but it looks like I'm going to have to close it out a little bit earlier because I don't want this video to get too awful long and bore you. So I will close you out on this one, and we will resume on the next one, and we will get the paint color on there. I'm going to get all this stuff cleaned up, so next time you see me, all that's going to be nice cleaned up, and we're going to be absolutely ready for the white paint color. And then on the also in the next video, we'll be getting into the detail painting. I think there's some silver trim and stuff like that, and then we'll probably be getting into the lighting as well, which is going to be kind of fun, kind of crazy, kind of fun. So we're going to have a good time next week, so be sure and stay tuned for that. And thank you so much for watching, y'all. Thank you so much for your support, and thank you so much for coming on and watching me build a model for what, every 30 minutes on a Tuesday evening so far. So thank you so much, and until next week, or whatever, we will get back to this bug. So beep beep 53. See y'all later. Take care, stay safe, and keep modeling. See y'all soon.
Help! Can you help me, please? Help! I'm a prisoner! I can't get out!
We all prisoners, Chicky baby. We all locked in. A couple of weirdos, Guinevere.